Okay, for those who don't know, this video is on Hunter Avallone. So in this video, he's talking about why he left the right. Now, I will say a few things first. I don't know whether he is right-wing or not. I really don't know his economic views, so I can't say whether he's right or left or center or whatever. Because if you watch my previous videos, I talk about how economics is the only thing that can determine whether you're right or left-wing. And for his economic views, I don't know what they are. So I can't say whether he's right-wing, left-wing, or center. Anyways, now that we have that out of the way, let's get on with the video.
I guess you would consider me a centrist. I guess, because I really am not too extreme on either side, and I hold positions that kind of align with both sides. For example, I would probably side with the right on like gun issues. I'm anti-abortion, freedom of speech. I like edgy memes, I guess. Maybe that's a right-wing thing.
Gun control, abortion, and freedom of speech are not a purely left or right thing. As I have said in my previous videos, these things can be held on either end. A communist could be pro-free speech and pro-gun, and a capitalist can be anti-gun and anti-freedom of speech, yet still be a capitalist.
And then I would probably side with the left when it comes to like trans issues, or the fact that black people commit more crime because of socioeconomic reasons, not because of some genetic inferiority complex or something. I think that gay people should be able to get legally married. I think that trans people are valid. These are some issues that I'd probably side more with the left on. And
okay, the majority of people on the right, and I would say even probably the majority of conservatives, don't think blacks are inferior because of their race or skin color. And even if they did, that doesn't make it a right-wing thing. That doesn't make any sense. A communist can be just as racist. And a lot of communists are racist, specifically towards white people, or any person of a particular race or skin color who has any remotely conservative and or capitalist views. So basically, they hate anyone that doesn't agree with them. Now, it's not going to be all of these people, but there is a huge problem with communists that they have this mentality. I would also like to mention that being poor does not extraordinarily increase your likely chances of committing crime. Its culture and upbringing is what makes blacks and Hispanics more likely to commit crime. Now, for trans issues, that's a specifically conservative viewpoint, not a right-wing viewpoint, a conservative one. And quite frankly, there are communists who can be conservative. There are two kinds of conservatism. One is fiscal conservatism, basically a capitalist, and the second kind is social conservatism. When it comes to sex and porn, social conservatives are against porn to some extent and are against, a lot of times, trans rights or LGBT people in general. But this can be equally held on someone on the left. A communist could have socially conservative views. This meaning that they can be against trans rights, against gay rights, they can be pro-gun, anti-abortion, all of that, and still be a communist, and still be left-wing. Unless you hold certain economic views, you aren't a centrist. Now, are you a conservative? No, from what it seems, you probably are not. Or at the very least, you're not a traditional conservative.
I basically come to a point where I'm like, I no longer agree with the right on LGBT issues.
No. It's not the right you disagree with. It's conservatives you disagree with. Because libertarians are right-wing. They are more capitalist than many traditional conservatives, and especially more capitalist than many Republicans.
I no longer agree with some of the far right's ideas on black people, or on whether or not this country is supposed to be a white country only or something.
You have been watching too much Tucker Carlson, haven't you? That isn't a right-wing thing. Libertarians are not for that, and I would say most conservatives are not for that. The supposed far right are not actually far right. Economically speaking, they're probably at center right at most. But from what I have done my research on is that a lot of them are just socialists, but only want socialism for white people. So this whole term of their far right is retarded. And as I have said earlier in this video, communists can also be racist. Because you do realize there are black nationalists who are communists. They want to have communism for only black people and have white people oppressed.
To me, conservative meant you want limited government, kind of keep the government out of your business, live your life freely, do what you want as long as you're not hurting other people. I recognize now that that is more along the lines of centrist, libertarian, I guess.
Yeah, that's nowhere near as close to being a centrist view. Libertarian, yes, but again, libertarians are on the right. In actuality, libertarians are on the far right. This is because they are for the most economic freedom.
The second reason is something I've just noticed a lot of right-wingers do.
That's kind of with everyone. Like, really, pretty much everyone is like that. Even I have fallen into that trope. Everyone is constantly having to fight this urge just to say whatever is on your mind and not provide any evidence and not actually think things through. Now, I am working on it and have been working on that, and I'm continuingly to work on making sure that I get the facts and that I focus on the data and not just on personal views.
Don't seem to particularly care that much about truth, and they seem to care a little more about getting the point across. I recognize that from a medical standpoint, from an academic standpoint, from even a scientific standpoint, being transgender is completely valid. It's not a mental illness.
It most certainly is a mental disorder. It is in the DSM-5. Now, people have been pushing to remove it from the DSM-5 because they don't want it listed as a mental disorder despite it actually being a mental disorder. And you know why it's a mental disorder? Because they have gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria can cause some or severe amount of depression because they view that their body is in the wrong body. They believe their sex in their brain does not match the sex of their body. So yes, it is a disorder. It is a mental disorder. To say that it is not a mental disorder is not only dishonest, but is also harmful. Anyways, he brings up some other points in his video that make no sense as to why that would make you leave the right, as he calls it, because those aren't even political things. Those are just, well, things. And just to say this again, I don't know whether Hunter Avallone is left-wing, right-wing, or center. I really don't, because I don't know his economic views. As I have said in this video and in some of my other videos, economics is the only way to determine whether someone is left-wing or right-wing or center, because economic views are the only thing that can be held consistently on either end. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a like, subscribe, share it, comment down below, and tell me what you thought. Help me reach my goal of 1,000 subs. I'm hoping to get to that really soon. And I'll see y'all later.
We bop and hippity hop. I'm as happy as I can be. Whoa, boom, boom, and hippity zoom. Love is sweet, love is grand, works one. We bop and hippity hop. I'll never be a millionaire. Whoa, boom, boom, and hippity zoom.